go over this upcoming quote-unquote MLB DFS main slate. Go over the night slate too afterwards. But yeah, we got 5 games. We'll have something to sweat during the day. See where we're getting to. As has been the case the last few days, I'm going to hand build a lineup. Not because I think that, I would never play a hand built lineup, but it is good just to kind of get an idea of how the slate's looking. And it is fun. So people ask about it. What would you do if you hand built, or do you hand build? Do you not? I tend not to, but here's the way I'd go if I did. And so for people out there who do want to, kick it old school, like before the Sims, and then when it would be good enough to just take the projections and the values and kind of do it. And here you have it. I still want to trust the Sims to solve these problems for me. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll run for DraftKings on the main slate, run for FanDuel, get the night slate in, see where we get. It's looks like it's crochet or bust today, but we'll see. But he's really popping out over the next 3 pitchers that are all bunched up in terms of value. You got crochet, 7 value points ahead, so it's pretty big. Boston's going to be a popular stack too, and I think it's Boston and Houston that really are popping, that have the highest total. So we'll see if we could fit them. Maybe Milwaukee, maybe we could fit. But let's take a look. Say if we were playing for like the 121 in single entry, something like that. Did it fill? Let's see. Yeah, it looks like the 121 filled. What could you get into? You can get into this 333. All right. Well, let's say we were building for this. I'm not going to play it. I'm just say we're building for 3 entries. Same thing. What's up, K9? Let's go. That's right. Nice win last night. That was great. Early stuff again. Win again. Why not? So let's say we throw in crochet on DK, and then let's take a look at like what hitters are. But Pittsburgh pops up as good values. Jordan really popping out. The value players on Pittsburgh. Do we want a 5-man stack Pittsburgh? I don't think so, but we could use them as cheapos. And it looks like, let me make this bigger. Yeah, Christian Walker is popping in terms of value score. Jeremy Pena. So let's see if we could like fit Houston with crochet. The lineup just came out. Let's see if we could get like Pena and Jordan. Jordan's still cheap for what he is. Walker. Let's see who else is in the lineup. Let's find it. Pena, Correa. Oh, Jordan's getting the day off. Okay. Well, they're going to be cheaper then. They're still going to have a good – it's not going to affect the total much. Get Altuve, Correa. Let's just see. I'm not saying you have to go 1 to 5, but let's just see if you went 1 through 5. Correa is a nice price. Altuve's up there. And what is it? Urias? Batting 5th. He's going to be cheap. Can we fit him? Yeah, we can't play him at 2nd, though. All right, let's skip Altuve. How about that? We want Cam Smith's getting action. Dubon, McCormick. Salazar at free, basically. Free Salazar. He'll be popular. What's up, Andy? Good afternoon to you, too. Let's just get in one of the outfielders. Say it's Cam Smith. Then, we got plenty of scratch left here. Povich is the next best value. We could correlate with Jason Alexander. What's the deal with Jason Alexander? I think the jokes have gotten old. Shota. Webb is good, but Webb is high priced. Let's just see. You could play Shota and get this Pittsburgh value in, no problem. Sawinski can always pop a homer. Then you got 3,700. Back in the game correlation. Raphael is batting a little low, but he's going to look nice. You get the 3-man with Pittsburgh. That's supposed to show a full lineup. But, yeah, plenty of ways to get Houston in, especially now that Jordan's out. So Get Houston Machota. You don't have to. You can go with the value in Povich. You got tons left to get big names, or you don't have to play the spend downs. A lot of ways to build, but it looks like it looks to me like there's no problem playing Crochet with a high projected stack today. So I imagine we're just going to get tons. He's projected for 65% ownership for Goldie, 50 on SaberSim. I'm just going to guess we get a whole host of Crochet. We'll see somewhere between 50 and 60. Let's use SaberSims and see if we get above Goldie's projections. I think we will. I'm going to play 5-mans and 4-mans. So I'm only going to build them. Explained so many times why I do it. It's almost getting old. So, okay. Let's do that. I'm going to put a filter on pitching because I've noticed sometimes if you build 5,000, you'll get like a reliever or two in there, and there's just wasted lineups. You only get 5,000. Make it count. So let's run. I'm going to call this SaberSim. Then we'll run on Goldies. Then we'll run FanDuel. We'll bounce. The weather is perfect. When is the last time we've had a weather issue? It's been like at least 3-4 days. And I think it was on like the turbo slate. It wasn't even on the main slate. So we've been running a good weather. Now, one thing, I don't buy this like raw stuff with the wind. I mean, this is built into the betting markets. I think if you're considering what Ross says about the wind, you're double counting. If there's a weather edge, then you're saying the betting markets are inefficient. I don't think that's the case. So I don't put much stock in this. I also think wind is complicated. Like just because it's blowing out at one level doesn't mean it is at the ballpark level. Different structures change wind around and stuff. I showed you guys a couple of days ago a great podcast on this, on wind in baseball and how complicated it is. It's not easy to figure out. So with the wind blowing at the ballpark a certain way just does not mean that much. And it means more at Wrigley, but even at Wrigley, wind is not always equal. Wind is not wind. So, okay. Got 5,000 built. Got the Sims running. So if I was playing 150, I would have, 78% Crochet. Then the Povich. You get Webb in there. You get Jason Alexander. Shota's down there. He's just too much money for what you get, I suppose. Or maybe too much ownership. But there you have it. It's a Crochet kind of day. Let's see in terms of stacks. Yeah, all that Houston. I mean, it makes sense because you could fit them in easily with Crochet. You get Jordan out, but you still get the high total against the Rockies. You know, Freeland can get torched. Even if Freeland doesn't, if you hit Freeland for like 3-4 runs, right, and you just get him out of the game in the 5th, you get that Rockies bullpen. I mean, on a slate this small, that could be enough. And so Houston looking really good. Boston looking good. It's a late swap kind of day. I mean, if you're playing Boston, we'll see what you get with late swap because depending on how they do, it's really going to affect the rest of the slate. And you will definitely be late swapping on this one with the Cubs lineup and the Giants lineup not even out. A couple of pitchers in the game that are not going to be so high owned, but you're going to have shares of them. We're going to have shares of them, so it's going to matter. So let's do the same thing here using Goldie's projections and see if I get that same kind of Crochet stuff. All right, I'm going to make the same move with the pitching. I do this on smaller slates. Let's make the same move with salary and build them. What can you do with Boston while it's building? Let's see. Let's say we play the 2. Let's leave pitcher out. Just see what we could do. They have a lot of guys like, yeah, they've got a lot of these cheap righties in against Povich, so they're pinch hit risk for sure. But I mean, Narvaez he's a lefty though, isn't it? No, he's a righty. Now he's not that cheap, but he's batting 7th. He's playing catcher, so his pinch hit risk isn't that low. Rafaela down to 8th. He won me the early showdown with a home run late. I had a couple outs though. I was like in 3rd, and I could have got the win from the Baltimore pitcher to win, or Rafaela do something. He hit a homer, so I had a couple outs. It was nice though. Let's get Story in. Roman Anthony, he's good. Good rookie. Oh, 2,000 for John. I don't even know how to pronounce it. This guy, they call the password just Nixon. Why not? You know, you could do practically anything with them too. You could play Webb, and it's fine. You get those Pittsburgh guys in or Rockies guys. Shota, fine. But you could go. I mean, you could go Povich. Oh, no, you can't go Povich because you're playing Boston. So you go Jason Alexander. Really get a lot in there. So a lot you could do on today's slate, which means, you know, those high-priced pitchers be high-priced. Yeah, we're getting the exact same thing with different inputs here. Just way more Logan Webb. So Goldie's projections liking Logan Webb. We're probably getting, we're getting more in the pool, which is leading more in our portfolio. Povich drops a little. Less Jason Alexander, fine. Less Houston, actually. Less Houston, less Boston, more Milwaukee. So it shows you how much those inputs matter. So using Goldie's stuff, it really changes things around. Now, I don't know if Goldie had an update recently, so we might have not caught the Jordan thing. And if that's the case, maybe it's like seeing Houston is more expensive. So keep an eye on that. We still got an hour before lock. We'll get, as we say, projections sharpen throughout the day, and they sharpen before lock. So plenty of time. Okay, let's see. Early only, FanDuel. I know some of you guys play FanDuel only. It was a crazy thing Sheets was saying that like some people, it's only like 5% of people or something that play both sites, which is really surprising. Andy from SaberSim said that. No reason not to believe him. So let's use SaberSims first. I'm going to put 4-mans only. I'm not playing 4 with one-offs, 4 one-offs. No thanks. Yeah, big college football slate starting today. That I want to jump into. Eric, who does the SaberSim sims for college football, won the first slate of the year. It was like a showdown for 10K last Saturday. Sorry about the fire alarm in the back. Live near a fire station. But yeah, I'm getting in the college football streets. I'm going to be gone for a while, so I'm going to miss most of the early part of the season. I'm going to miss like first 6 weeks of NFL, which sucks. But I get to play this week 0. Is it week 1? I don't know if this counts as week 0 or week 1. They couldn't possibly make it more confusing. But it is what it is. As long as I win, I don't mind. Yeah, the sites are so different. And, you know, especially if you're using, you know, Sims, I could see where playing both is like somewhat simple. You know, we're just plugging, like, look at what I'm doing. I'm just plugging stuff in and going, you know, but if you're hand building, you really need to know the nuances of both sites. So I'm right with you, K9. Like if you're using projections and building lineups by hand, which is totally, you know, viable, then there's just no way like you could get all the nuances and stuff. The scoring's different, the pricing and stuff. So if you're really good at one site, it just totally makes sense. All right. Crochet. Half our pool is Crochet. I'm at 70%. A little bit of Web. Handful of other stuff, but not much. A lot of four-man Houston here. Houston, Milwaukee, then Pittsburgh jumps up. Boston a little lower than them. Here's a Pittsburgh coming up for the value. Why not? Let's see what Goldies takes us to. I'll call it Goldies. And make changes to the stacks. I'm not going to change salary. All right. Boom. Guys, if you're out there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps us out. Check out TrueDFS.com. The packages are like the price is right? It's $25 more than you'd pay for just SaberSim. But you get access to Goldie's projections. You get Sheets' projections. You get the premium Discord. You get the paid analytics model that's great for DFS and great for prop betting. And that's going to be huge in NFL season. I know we're going to be going over that a lot coming up. So really, really like a lot out there for like $25 more than you'd pay for SaberSim just a la carte. So the price is right. It makes sense. There's a promo code NFL 2025. An NFL in all caps, NFL 2025, and you get 33% off your first month. So it's actually cheaper than SaberSim, and you get all that added value. So it's really like, it's definitely one of the most robust packages in the industry. I don't think there's anywhere you could go where you get more stuff added. So definitely check it out. We're really proud of what we got going here. And God, we're excited for NFL. I'm not that excited because I'm leaving. I'm going to be out of town for work for a lot of it. So I'm going to miss more than I want. But I'll be back at some point, like after week 6. Using Goldie stuff, a little less crochet, but like plenty. 70%. And it's the same pitchers. Webb, Povich, Shota, Jason. Did I actually? Oh, I didn't switch them. Oh, way to go. Way to go, Perry. Way to go. All right, let's rerun this. You see SaberSim's nice, so easy to rebuild. And this is pretty quick for 5,000 lineups, I'd say. Let's see. I've heard some good things about Povich, like that he's got a pretty good pitch mix that's improving. He's somewhat young. I think he's like 26 still, 25. I've heard good things about his improvement. Yeah, 25 still. Cade, Povich, Fangraphs. You know, these are the kind of things, like if you see a guy get an uptick in Stuff Plus, these kind of metrics, I mean, these are the kind of things that aren't necessarily included in projections. So you're not double counting. You know, there's a lot of shows where they talk about, well, there's his XFIP and his XWOBA and his BABIP and blah, 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 blah. But all that is just well known, right? If you're using the BAT, if you're using Stochastic, if you're using SaberSim, it's just all already captured. You're double counting. So you got to try and find things that aren't double counting. One of those is Stuff Plus, I think. I mean, I do think some of these like new metrics are included in the BAT, but you know, the BAT's going to have its model for the year. And things change over the course of the year. Our understanding of these change over the course of the year. So, you know, Povich is consistent in Stuff Plus. We'd want to look at his like game logs for it to see if he's had improvement lately. But average Stuff Plus is 100. He's at 97. So it's not great, but it's great for the price. And then where do I find? I know there's a way to like look at game log Stuff Plus, which is like really, really awesome. I found it before. I think I spent too much time on it. Oh, it might be in his StatCast stuff. No, it says barrels, hard hit rate. All that stuff we know plenty about. All right, not gonna enough. Let's see what Goldie stuff got us to. All right, using Goldie's way less crochet up there on Webb, up there on Imanaga. Now, way less is still a metric ton, right? Way above the field, not the 78%, but 24%, and we're still above the field on crochet. Way more Milwaukee. You get Houston in there and Boston. You don't get the Pittsburgh to the same degree. So input's really changing things. Changes our pool, changes what the Sims can grade, and then changes our portfolio quite a bit. So last thing I want to do, let's go to the night slate. Might as well. I don't know if Goldie has his stuff up yet, but SaberSim will. He does. Perfect. Switch to Goldie's projections. Let's just see what the night slate is looking like. Salary is a tough question on these smaller slates. I'm inclined to just let SaberSim make the decision for me. Then there's the decision on stacks. I'm going to be a little less greedy and let like the 4-2s in there. But I still think you want to play mostly 5s. And when you look at your graded lineups, we'll see. It's going to be mostly 5s, I think. Usually is. There's another slate where late swap matters. I mean, I imagine the White Sox, it's some ownership. They're better and they're cheap, but they're not going to be owned to the degree the Yankees are. So if you got Yankees lineups performing, where your early stuff in them is not performing over the hour, late swap's probably going to get you on the White Sox, and vice versa. If you got some lineups doing well, it might get you on some chalkier Yankee stuff. So the late swap advantage is not to the same degree. Although the thing is, there's only one game in the early slate, I guess, and it's low owned, but it's still a leverage point. Not enough people are late swapping. You got to do it. You got to do it. So people are going to ask about the night slate. Here's your answer. I'm getting Nola, Will Warren, a little bit of everyone, but Nola, Will Warren, Clay Holmes, the good pitchers. Although that said, Atlanta does not have a bad total against Nola. Coming back from the injury, the market is not high on Nola. Okay. Five mans. Let's just see what our exposures look like. In 150, I mean, yeah, still mostly five mans. 30%, about 70%. Oh, no, we get the 4-3s here. A little less than that. 65%. Stacks, a lot of Yankees. If you're doing poorly, those become White Sox. Well, depending on how poorly you're doing, it's only an hour, but you get the gist. As far as five mans, a lot of Mets, four mans. You have Phillies in there. Not as many Yankee five mans as there are in overall stacks. And that's probably the price. You want to play Judge, you got to pay a pretty penny to get him. So there you have it. We took a look at the main slates on DraftKings and FanDuel. Got a little preview of the night slate. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out TrueDFS.com. NFL 2025, all caps, for 33% off your first month. That means you're going to pay less than you would pay just for SaberSim, and you get all the other added features of a subscription. So check out TrueDFS.com. We got a little new website. It's a little slicker and easier to manage. And with that, I will say good luck.